Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again. And again, I am here to encourage you. I am here to embolden you. I am here to empower you. I am here to inform you. I am here to educate you. I am here to inspire you. I am here to motivate you. I am here to build you up. I'm here to lift you up. I'm here to bring and give you peace. I'm here to bring and give you hope. Because I am here to bring, give, and tell you the truth. Oh my goodness gracious. You never let your right hand know what the left hand is doing. Number one rule of business. Let them think that you don't have a clue as to what you're doing. Number one rule of war, modern war. Overwhelm them with distraction, otherwise known as disinformation. Translation: hey, let's give the stupid little media something to talk about while we work on the real issues, while we drain the swamp. That's what you're seeing going on right now. Period. I've been telling you all for months. It is not like it's always been. You all are so used to just getting one person, okay, they're in there, they're going to be there forever and ever and ever, and they're going to do everything, and we don't have to do anything. We're just going to sit down here and watch, eat our popcorn and watch the show. And of course, complain because they're not doing anything right. Well, you don't know what to say now. You don't know whether to call President Trump an imbecile. You don't know or whether to call President Trump a genius because you haven't got a clue as to what's going on. Now, do you? That's by design. I'm going to tell you what we're not talking about anymore. We're not talking about Jeff Sessions going away. Now, are we? Told you. He's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. And if you listen to the headlines from the stupid little people in the stupid little box, just got an email notification from Newsmax. Trump dumps Saramucci. Just like Reince Priebus was the leaker. Yet Reince Priebus came back on, it was on Sean Hannity, and President Trump didn't say anything bad about Reince. Nothing. And he said, hey, I serve at the pleasure of the president. And you all don't seem to understand it. You all seem to forget, should I say. Look how many campaign managers he went through. Nobody said anything about it then. But yet the lying media said the same thing. They just don't know what they're doing. Well, he won the daggum election. He must know something about what in the world he's doing. He cruised through the primaries, took out 17 other candidates, seasoned candidates at that. Took them out, got the nomination, and then beat the snot out of Hillary. How about that? But they don't know what they're doing. And notice we're not talking about the Russia thing anymore. Now are we? Now are we? Now are we? Give them something else to talk about. Overwhelm them. I've only been encouraging you all to do that. Instead of complaining about, when's this Russia thing going to stop? Talk about something else. Overwhelm them with information. Overwhelm the system. And watch the system collapse. Because they can only handle one thing at a time. Because they, again, they are used to being in control. It's called taking back the narrative, maintaining the narrative, letting them see and think what you want them to see and what you want them to think. Period. The only question that you have to ask yourself is, do you, if you voted for President Trump, do you trust President Trump? Because let's just be completely honest. He hasn't gotten rid of anybody important. Nobody. Sean Spicer is a press secretary. Okay? Scaramucci was communications, head of communications, I think, or something like that. I don't know. It's not vital to the running of the government. I mean, for crying out loud, President Obama went through 3 press secretaries. That's some pretty weak press secretaries because they weren't challenged on anything. You try to get up there and answer all those challenging, when the entire media corps is out to try to sink your ship, is out to get you, is attacking you on and the administration on anything and everything. You go ahead, stand up there. You try to do that. See how long you last. Same thing with the chief of staff. They serve a purpose for a time period. Now we're moving in. You see, Reince was brought in because Reince had experience in just in how it all works. I mean, he's only been the head of the Republican Party for a long time. He's only dealt with these people. And do you really truly think that if President Trump didn't trust him, that he wouldn't bring him on board? So you bring in one guy just to set everything up, just to get everything going. Now that we've got all of our pieces in place, or at least all the pieces that they'll give us, because they still have hundreds. And again, Reince went on Sean Hannity, and that's what he said. The president still doesn't even have. There's hundreds of people that are still in the waiting, in committee, waiting for approval. This is ungodly. This is wrong. This is hurting us. So President Trump got tired of waiting. He said, "Okay, fine. We're just gonna do the best that we can with what we got." Thank you, Reince, for your service. So you can do more for the White House outside of the White House. Period. You can be a more effective agent outside of the beltway, as it were, than you can ever do inside. Now, what about Scaramucci? Personally, I think that was planned from the get-go. I think Sean Spicer, uh, 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 it was all just a red herring, just a red herring, just to uh, give these people some false information. Who? What people? Well, the enemy. The enemy. See, light bulb. Man, let's make these fools look like that we don't know what we're doing. Let's just play stupid. Leaving dropping breadcrumbs and little chum in the water. Chum in the water. Chum isn't just used just to get sharks, to get any kind of fish, because they smell it and they come a running. And if they see food everywhere, then they're more likely just to grab onto something, grab onto your bait that just happens to have the hook. Now, all of you all that were worried about Sessions, I told you, it's going to work on the leakers. And who's the one big leak? What is the lying media not talking about? What are they not talking about? They're not talking about what the true journalists are looking into. Sarah Carter from Circa News, that the head counsel, not the special counsel, the head counsel for the FBI, which is the top lawyer in the FBI, it's looking like he's one of the main leakers. Next day, Jeff Sessions is going after the leakers. And President Trump has been saying all the time, subtly, quietly, it's these leaks. The leaks are the criminal acts. And that's been backed up by all of his supporting staff. Jay Sekulow has been saying the same thing. It's the leak that is the criminal act. And every leak is a 20-year criminal sentence. Every leak. Some of these people have leaked out hundreds of things. See? You're starting to see how they are telling you what is going to happen. They are telling you what's going to happen. So then when it does happen, it's all going to click. If it hasn't already. Then Debbie Wasserman Schultz is connected with who? The Muslim Brotherhood. Notice we haven't heard anything about Uma Abedin and her pervert husband. Not a word. Why? Well, because they're the ones that they flipped them. They flipped them. How do you think they knew who all the leakers are? And again, Kellyanne Conway came out and said, just prior to or right after, just prior. Let's see, Scaramucci said the thing that he said about if Reince wants to come out and explain how he's not a leaker, I'll leave that up to him. And then Kellyanne Conway, if not the same day, maybe the next day, said, these leakers think that we don't know who they are. It's not as hard to find these leakers as the leakers may think they are. In other words, we coming for you, Bubba. And again, lying media, quiet. Why? Because the lying media is the mouthpiece. Then the bought and sold, The prostitutes that call themselves the United States Congress come out and say, we need to do investigations into Lynch and all the Obama people, blah, blah. Sit down, shut up. Translation, we need to know, what do you all know? Are you all looking into that? Haven't heard anything else about it now, have you? Nope, you're not gonna. Nope, just go sit down. Just go. I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to go kiss your wife, kiss the kids. Bye bye. Because you going to prison. Get your personal matters in order. Because you boys gonna be going away for a very long, long time. Again, the Scaramucci thing was he's not a very vital, important thing. Now, I did learn something, and you can. I mean, I can admit when I was wrong. I didn't realize that the chief of staff was sworn in. I didn't know that. And I read a comment. I'm going to have to research it before I say. According to the comment, Scaramucci was never sworn in, so apparently everybody is sworn in into everything. So they do take an oath. But they're not, they are appointed. They're not elected. And I'm quite sure it's the oath that they take is not the same oath that a Jeff Sessions or that the president and the vice president take, or that a senator and a congressman take. But it does make sense because, well, you know, they're seeing top secret information and so on and so forth. So you get Reince out and you bring in a general because you're getting ready to go to war. You're getting ready to go to war. So you bring in Scaramucci just so Scaramucci can create another situation to give him something to talk about. You know, when he used the foul language. I didn't like it, but hey, man, all is fair in love and war. What do you need me to do, Mr. President? What do you need me to do to help make America great again? You needed me to stand there and deliberately mess up? Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Light bulbs coming on. No criminal acts were done. President Trump has not been shown to be President Trump and his administration. There is no bad light. Jeff Sessions going after them leakers. Pounded them the other day. Going after all of the arrest about the MS-13 gangs. Bye. They're part of swamp as well. Part of sewer. Law and order's here. Accountability's here. Folks, the hammer's about to fall. Please don't start defining these people. Because you don't be professing that you looked into your crystal ball and you knew that this was going, because ain't none of y'all saw this coming. It's all distraction. It's all a distraction. The right hand does not let the left hand know what it's doing. You look like you don't know what you're doing. That way they just all they do is mock you. And if you look like you don't know what you're doing, then they don't know what in the world you are doing. Now do that. Nope. Mm-mm. Let me say that again. if you look like that you don't know what in the world that you're doing, then they do not know exactly what you are doing. Now, I've used this game before in the past, in some of my past videos as an example. I used to play an online game called Ebony. And the game was broken up into, they called it states. The world was 12 states, 12 squares. And inside each state, you had places where people could have cities. Well, we would fill up an entire state with accounts, because it didn't cost anything to make a new account. You just needed an email address. So we would fill up the entire state. And then, because once all the empty spots are taken, then that means that you don't have to randomly jump around looking for your enemy. You can just remove that temporary, so glad I got my shades on, that temporary account, and put in a big bad attack account. And we did it right in front of everybody. They didn't even have a clue as to what in the world was going on. So one of the guys was in world chat. One of the enemy, the opposing group, was in world chat talking to the entire game trash about me. And one of my, I didn't care about world chat. I was too busy helping my own little alliance and helping my people do things. I could really care less. I don't seek the white hot spotlight. So one of my guys came in and said, "Hey man, JS," because that's what they called me in the game. He said, "JS, this guy's talking trash to you about you in world chat." I said, "Really?" I said, "Who's that?" They said, and they gave me the name. I said, "Oh, really? Okay." So whenever we made an account, we always put up our flag on that temporary account. That way, if any of our other alliances that were in our alliance group needed that city, needed that spot, they would know that they could get it. All they had to do was come ask us. And we would give it to them. Let them put in their big guy, because we can't be everywhere. So I went into world chat and I said, "Hey, I hear you've been talking about me." And the guy's like, "Yeah, why don't you come over here? Why don't you come over here? Come attack my war city." Uh-huh. They always want you to go right at their strongest point. You don't do it that way. First thing is, you don't tell them when you're going to come. And second, you don't tell them where you're going to hit. Now, this guy had like, I don't know, 8 or 9 cities, something like that. So I told the guy, and they were all in the same state that we just so happened to have filled up. And we kept track of all the little new accounts. We knew exactly where they were. And I said, "Well, hey, Bubba, this is what you might want to do. You might want to take a look around to your little cities, around all of your cities. And every city that you see that has a JSV flag, that be me." Silence. No response. No response. I said, "Now, so unless you can stay awake indefinitely, I suggest that you prepare yourself. Because at any given moment, at any given hour, either me or one of mine or another one of our alliance members can quickly be replaced by that little, they call them knobs. That knob can be replaced with a war city. How about that? Again, silence. So I had one more message to him. I said, "What's that? I'm sorry. What's that? I can't hear you." It got mighty quiet, mighty fast from over there. Just saying. And that's what's happening with these people. That's what's happening to all of the fakes and frauds and the counterfeits. That's what's going on. They are seeing the all of the different possibilities. They're starting to recognize, oh, wait a minute, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. Because remember, folks, their leakers are still in there. The leakers are still in there. So if you know who the leaker is, as Kellyanne Conway said, the leakers aren't that hard to figure out who they are. If you know who the leaker is, you just give them, oh, so glad I've got my shades on, misinformation. In order to give the media, in order to maintain the media narrative, you just give them something to talk about. You act like you don't know what you're doing, when all the while they know that you do know what you're doing, and watch them melt. Watch them melt, and that's what you're seeing. You are seeing them. The mouthpieces don't know what to say because they know exactly what's going on, but they can't report it because it's their people in charge, their handlers, the ones that are propping them up. If they call them out, well, then they're going to go down as well. Well, guess what, folks? They're going down. They're all going down. They are all going down. They are seeing exactly what's going on. And there's not, what exactly are they going to do? Report President Trump as success? They would be reporting themselves as failures. What are they going to do? Explain how President Trump is draining the swamp when they are the swamp themselves? It's like the criminal. The criminal's never going to admit that they're a criminal. The criminals never turn themselves in. The only place that happens is on TV. It doesn't happen. Period. The only time you're going to get a confession out of a criminal is when they know that they are about to die. And only those, the only ones that you get that you get a confession out of those are those who Almighty God has moved upon their heart, and they want to get right with their Maker. Period. They will never admit that they are the criminal. The lying media is never going to admit that they're lying to you. That's why they've got to go. The lying media is incapable of telling you the truth. That's why they've got to go. You need, the American people need a truthful, fact-based news media to keep the criminals in check. You all need to find Dinesh D'Souza's Facebook page, and he gave a beautiful little 2-minute video on it. We need to take back our school system, the public school system, because he called it just the same way. all of the public institutions, whether it be a grade school, a middle school, a high school, or higher learning, they're all indoctrination centers. We need to take back the media. We need to take back the press. We need truth. That's what's going on. And the easiest way to do that is simply enforce the law. These people are scared to death because they have been committing treasonous acts. They have helped these criminals kill people. They know what's been going on, and they have remained silent simply because they have no backbone. They are prostitutes. They have prostituted themselves. The blood of all of these innocents is on their hands. All of them. That's why they're so nervous. That's why they're so scared. That's why they're going to go down kicking and fighting. But go down they will. And go they will. The easiest way to really strike fear in the enemy is you overwhelm them. You never let them know. You never let them know where you're going to be coming from. And you never, ever, ever let them know when you're coming. You just act like you don't know what you're doing. That way, the enemy never knows exactly what you're doing. Just saying.